onwards morning 8 o'clock new batch is going on. Tuesday onwards.
Morning 8 o'clock. Okay, fine.
Morning 8 o'clock. These two are the times, 7 and morning 8.
The next 7 p.m. class when will be? The next 7 p.m. class.
7 p.m. not yet started. Tomorrow Monday only. See, just demo class is completed.
Okay.
So tomorrow I am going to show the domain controller configuration. Today also I will show domain controller and Active Directory users how to create. So tomorrow first class will start in 7 o'clock. Configuration of domain controller.
Again new batch is starting tomorrow.
Yeah,
7
yes.
o'clock.
7 o'clock. Yes.
Okay, fine.
Okay. See, this is Windows Server 2016. See, first we are going to change the computer name and IP address of the system. Then we are going to promote to the domain controller. Then creating domain user accounts, changing the default password policy, changing the lockout policy, and how to lock out the user account, unlock the user account, how to configure log on hours, log on to computers. So types of permissions in Windows Server. So these topics we are going to discuss, how to configure the profiles. See, server manager is the dashboard in Windows Server. So from there you can configure, or else you can go to the start button. So from here also you can manage Windows administrative tools, computer management. So this is the workgroup system. See, if you install any Windows Server operating system, by default it not becomes as a server until you can promote the server as a domain controller. So the Windows Server OS or client OS by default they are in workgroup environment only. So in workgroup environment, no system can be a server, no system can be a client. So every system can act as a server, every system can act as a client. No system can control other systems in the network. But when you promote your Windows Server as a domain controller, it can manage thousands of computers in the network. That is nothing but a domain environment. Now here left side, select local server. Here change the computer name. So if you want to change you can click on computer name. See, this is in workgroup environment only. This is server OS, but by default any OS is in workgroup. Click on computer name, click on change. So here I am giving Windows Server 10 computer name. Okay. Click on OK. Click on close. So restart later. Now change the IP address. If you want to change the IP address, click on Ethernet 0 multiple IPv4 addresses. Right click on Ethernet 0. Click on properties. TCP IPv4. Here I am changing the IP address 192.168.0.10 I am giving. So give the preferred DNS. Where you are configuring your domain controller, so you have to mention the preferred DNS IP address, also same IP address. Then click on OK. OK. Now restart the computer. Select the start button, power button, restart. Now we are going to promote this server as a domain controller. Meanwhile, go to client computer. So I'm going to install Windows 7 again. Go to server side. Now this server I am going to promote as a domain controller. So this domain control can control thousands of computers in the network. The prerequisite is proper host name. So IP address and preferred DNS IP address you have to set properly. Then go to server manager, add the roles and features. See here, add roles and features. So any configuration if you want to do on Windows Server 2002, first of all you have to add the roles and features. So any configuration. So in Linux, for any server setup, we are going to install the packages. Like in Windows, we have to add the roles and features. Then if it is website configurations or FTP configuration or DNS configuration or DHCP configuration, any configurations you are going to do in Windows Server, so you must add roles and features, then you do the configurations. Click on add roles and features. So it will take time. Its process is going on. Add roles and features. Click next. Select role based or feature based installation. Click next. So here it show your server IP address and host name. Win server 10 192.168.0.10. Select a server from the server pool. So we have only one server. Click next. So here check the box Active Directory Domain Services. Click on Add Features. Again check the box DNS server because Active Directory integrated with your DNS server. So check the box DNS, add feature. These two are required. Remember, Active Directory domain services and DNS server roles you have to add. Click next. Click next. 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 Check the box. Restart the destination server automatically if required. Yes. So whenever it will require the restart, then automatically it will restart. So click on install. Now it will install your features, role Active Directory domain services and DNS features it will install. Then we can configure Windows Server as a domain controller. So meanwhile, we are going to see installation of Windows 7 client operating system. So adding the client operating system to the server domain server, it is a member client. Adding the server operating system to the domain controller, it is a member server. So interview point of view, they will ask the question, what is member server, what is member client? So adding the client OS to domain, it is a domain client. Adding the server OS to the domain, it is a member server. So Windows 7, next. Next. Okay. Installation process is started. Now it will take time. Features of installation, Active Directory, domain services, and DNS features it is adding. So before configuration of domain controller, whatever the users or groups created on the work group, automatically they are converted as a domain users. Remaining that point, entry point of view, they will ask the question, before going to configuration of domain controller, I have 10 users are there, 5 groups are there. What about that users and groups? Automatically they are going to be added into domain. So meanwhile, I will explain what are local users, what are domain users. See, a computer joined in the domain with client OS system is called a member client. Windows XP, Windows Server, or Windows 8, Windows 10. What is member server? A computer joined in the domain with server OS is called a member server. Maybe 2016 or 2012, whatever it may be. If server OS you are adding to your domain is called member server. Next, user management, we have local users and domain users. Now, who are local users? A user account created in local database of computer is called local user. Local users are generally used in workgroup model. Local users can log on only the respective computer. For example, I have 10 computers. In first computer, I created a user account Siva. Siva can only log into the first computer only. If you want to log in from second computer, again you are going to create the Siva account there. Like 10 computer, 10 Siva accounts you have to create. But to come into the domain environment, a user account is created in Active Directory database. Domain users are used in domain model. Domain users can log on to any computer in the domain. See, local users can only log on to the respective computer, but domain users can log on from any computer in the domain. This is nothing but a centralized login. So next we are going to see creating domain user accounts. After configuration of domain controller, we can see how to create the domain user accounts, how to change the default password policies. We are going to see practically today. So Tuesday morning 8 o'clock, we are going to start a new batch on MCSE and evening 7 p.m. Then we can see the default network environment. So I will give just a brief introduction about networking. So what is a network? What is networking? So generally sometimes they will ask the question, what is network and networking? What is a network and what is a networking? So network is nothing but a physical communication between the devices is called a network. Like we have a 10 computers I want to communicate in the network. So I have to buy a switch, then I have to buy the cable, Cat5 cable, then I can I can connect the systems in the network. So connecting the physical connectivity between the systems in the network systems is called network. So data transfer between the one computer to another computer is called networking. So just physical communication is there, but data transfer is not going on. That is network. When you start the data transfer between one computer and another computer is called networking. Next, types of networks: local area network, metropolitan area network, wide area network. So local area network means within the same building or on the same floor. This is local area network. So can be a group of computers and other devices in a limited geographical area, say the size of an office building. So within the same building, if you have 5 floors or 6 floors also, that is called local area network. So metropolitan area network within the city limits. So MAN is a network for a cluster of buildings or two or more buildings within a short distance of each other in a city. For example, our traffic policing and railway departments, they are going to use MAN, metropolitan area network. They have a wireless sets, that is one side communication, either talking or hearing. So this is MAN. Within the city limits only, we can use the MAN. Next, wide area network can communicate different geographical locations LANs. For example, we have a office in Hyderabad, another office is in Chennai or Mumbai. I want to communicate all these three LANs in one network. So you can configure wide area network. So wide area network can be a group of computers and other devices in a larger geographical areas or cities, states, and even countries also. So network models: sneaker net, peer-to-peer, client server model. Now we are working in client server model. So in interview they will ask the question, what is your network type? What is your company's network type? Is client server model. So our server is managing so many thousands of clients, that is called client server network. So sneaker network, system to system communication. So the transfer information by physically carrying removable media from one computer to another computer. So peer to peer. So this is like work group model. So we have number of computers, we can make one switch or hub. You can communicate in the network. This peer to peer model is one in each resource are shared by computers which are considered approximately equals in the network administration hierarchy. So one to one. So you can communicate your systems to the hub by using the Cat5 cable. Then you can communicate each other. You can share the data. So this is client server model which we are going to work nowadays. So this is a domain control server. Assume. So we have thousands of clients. They can communicate through the network. So compulsory they will ask the question, which network model you are working. We are working in a client server model. So in this model, a single computer called a server is given the duty to provide a particular service to one or more clients in the network. See, scope of networks: internet. Internet, everybody knows it is a network. Thousands of networks can communicate with internet, which are connected together to facilitate sharing resources and information among users. Intranet, what in our companies? Say an intranet is a network that is specific to a single organization. So within the organization, we are going to set up intranet. Extranet. So extranet is a network that allows a business to connect with the suppliers, vendors, customers, stakeholders, others related to its business. So depending upon your business relations, you can provide your network communication to your vendors or customers. This is called extranet. These are the scopes of networks. In interview point of view, Windows Server administration, they will ask the questions: internet, intranet, and extranet. So network topologies: mesh network, linear bus network, star network, ring network, tree network. So see, mesh network, this is olden days. We use in a mesh network, every device has a physical connection directly to every other. So each and every computer has one communication. This is mesh network. Linear bus network, this is like in olden days, before 2001 year, we can use the dumb terminals. For that, we have a device is there, like backbone cable we have. From every system, we have to put the connection to this cable. They are communicating the network. The bus network uses single cable that all devices to interconnect. So this is star network. Now we are using star topology. Is designed with each node, servers, workstations, or any peripherals. You can directly connect it to a central network switch or hub. So which network topology you are using in your company means we are using nowadays star network. This is ring network. This is also not used nowadays. Token ring network, like ring type one device will come instead of a central hub as found in the star network. Media access unit, the center point in the ring network. Inside the media access unit is a logical ring. This is the network. It is also used in olden days. Nowadays we are not using. This is a tree network. A tree topology combines characteristics of linear bus and star topology. So like we have a tree network plus star topology plus linear network is nothing but a tree topology. This is also we are not using nowadays. Just now we are going to see this one, server. See here, features installation is completed. Now what you have to do, you have to promote this server as a domain controller. See here, promote this server as a domain controller. If you accidentally close this window, so you can see here top of the window, there is a notification. So you can click on this, it will show. If you forget, if you accidentally close this window, you can click on this. Post deployment configuration is ready to use. Promote this server to a domain controller. So click on this. Promote this server to a domain controller. Now see here, add a domain controller to an existing domain. So we not yet configure any domain. So this is not the option. Add a new domain to an existing forest. This is also not the deployment configuration option. Add a new forest. So first time you are going to configure one domain controller in your company. For example, that is the root domain. That is the main domain controller. So add a new forest. A forest is nothing but a collection of domains. So root domain name, I am giving india.com. This is my main domain controller name. Click next. So in interview they will ask the question, which is the first domain controller in the network is called root domain. You have to remember. The first domain controller which is configured in the system is called root domain. So forest function level, domain functional levels. So what is this forest functional level? What is domain functional level? They will ask the question. So if your company, you have only Windows servers, you are working with only Windows servers. If there is any other versions of your Windows servers like 2012, 2008, you can go for same forest function level. But when you go for a company, we can have the running Windows 2008 servers are also there, running Windows Server 2012 also there. So we have to make it communication between these different versions of the servers in the domain. So you can change forest function level Windows Server 2008 R2. For example, now 2008 servers you can communicate in the domains. 2012, 2016 also it will support. So domain function level also same I am giving. 2008 servers I can have in the domain my company environment. 2012 servers still we are using. 2016 also we are using. So I can communicate between these two different versions, three different versions of the servers in my domain environment. So change the forest function levels to from which version you want to support in your company, you can select this one. Next here, type the directory services restore mode password. What is DSRM? They will ask the question. So whenever your domain controller is having any problem, you can troubleshoot your domain controller. So in that scenarios, you have to provide directory services restore mode password. So this is you have to remember. Click next. Verify the NetBIOS name. NetBIOS name is India. Domain name is india.com. So .com is domain name. India is the NetBIOS name. Network identification name. Click next. So where the Active Directory database information stores, they will ask the question. The Active Directory database stores on NTDS folder. See Windows NTDS. Where the group policies information stores. The group policy templates information stores on the sysvol folder. Compulsory question in interviews. So where the Active Directory database stores, NTDS folder. Deployment. So group policy, deployment, policies information, templates information stores in sysvol folder. Click next. So the NetBIOS name, forest function level, domain function level, additional options, global catalog, DNS server. Yes, click next. So prerequisite need to be validated before Active Directory domain services is installed on this computer. Verifying prerequisite is. If you have any mistakes here only it will show. So prerequisite is are failed. See, in real times, we are going to work with Windows servers with remote desktop connections. So you joined as a Windows administrator in Bank of America. Your servers are located in US, Windows servers on top of the virtual environment. So as a Windows administrator, you are going to log into your server, you are going to work. How to log into Windows server? So remote desktop connections. We are going to see practically. So all prerequisite checks passed successfully. Click install, begin configuration of domain control. Click on install. So it will take 5 minutes time. Then we can see Windows 7 is installing or not. So it is also going to be complete. So then we can go back and here you can see networking hardware. So what are the minimum requirement to configure the systems in the network? You can have a network interface card on each system. And you need switches or hubs. Now we are not using. We need switches, repeaters, routers. This is the networking hardware. So you can have a NIC card each and every system, and to communicate all the systems in one network, you need a centralized device, hub or switch. Repeaters is a device, it can expand your communication signals to further 50 meters or 100 meters. Router is a device to communicate different geographical lands in the network. This is NIC card, everybody knows. In earlier we have desktop operating systems, you have to buy the NIC card, you have to put into the PCI slots. Old and technology, nowadays we have a laptop, internal NIC card is coming, onboard NIC cards now. Earlier days we are used this external NIC cards and desktop systems. The network card provides the physical connection between the network and the computer workstation. Next, hubs or switches is a device that provide a central connection point for cable from workstations to servers and peripherals. Peripherals means like printer, directly you can connect to your network, printer, some other devices. So repeater is a device that boosts a network signal as it is passes through. For example, you have 500 meters network is their office. So after 500 meters, your network communication is not properly coming, signal is weak, then you can keep it one repeater. Again, it will expand. So other 50 meters or 100 meters, depending upon the capacity of your repeater. It repeats the signals. So routers, already we discussed, routers can communicate to different geographical location LANs in the network. So here one router, this is one router, this is one router. A router translates information from one network to another network by using the routing protocols. So this is a wireless access point. Nowadays we can have the wireless modems are there, sorry, wireless routers are there. A wireless access point, WAP or access point, is a device that allows wireless communication device to connect to a wireless networking using Wi-Fi, Bluetooth or related standards. So these are the networking devices. So as a Windows administrator, at least you have to know about what are the network components, what are the network topologies, what are the different types of networks. In Linux administration, they will not ask this type of question, but compulsory in Windows, they will ask this type of questions. So you have to remember all these things. So domain controller is configured, automatically it will restart. This is also completing the installation. So first time it will take some time. It will apply all the changes. So log into the domain controller. Give the password. Now see India administrator. Now this system becomes as a domain controller system. Now give the password. Now how do you know whether it is domain controller or not? They will ask the question in interview. So I have thousands of servers in my company. So which is the domain controller? How do you know? They will ask. So you added as a domain client. You have to know which is the domain server, whether your system is domain or not. So we can check. Go to run command. Go to command prompt. Type the command net accounts. Now it shows, see, computer role primary. Primary means main domain controller. It will show here, primary main domain controller in the system, network. So remember the command net accounts. You can go to any system, you can type the command net accounts. So this is my laptop. I given the command net accounts. It is a workstation system. Like any Windows system, you can go to the command prompt. You can type the command net accounts. So it will show the role of your system. Now, how to create Active Directory domain users? So here click on Tools. Now here you can see Active Directory Administrative Center, Active Directory Domains and Trusts, Active Directory for Windows PowerShell, Active Directory Sites and Services. Now see Active Directory Users and Computers. Now click on this Active Directory Users and Computers. See, expand the domain name here. Here by default built-in accounts computers. You can check there are no items shown in the not yet added any computer to the domain. Domain controllers in server 10 type computer. So DC type global catalog. So first site. So these are service accounts. Now here you can see users. You can see the users. Now right click on the these are the default users. Right click on users. New. Give the username. Shiva. Logon name Shiva. Already Shiva is there. So change the name Rama. Click next. Already you use. So here password you can set. I am giving Windows @123. Windows @123. So uncheck. User must change password at next login. User cannot change password. Password never expires. Click next. Click on finish. So domain user is created. There is a domain user Nivas. So if you want to create a group, right click on the built-in account, right click, click on new, click on group. Group name DBA. So we are going to discuss about is what is domain local group, what is global group scope, universal group type, security distribution. Later classes we are going to discuss. Click on OK. So group DBA is created. User Nivas is created. Now I want to add the Nivas into DBA group. Right click on the Nivas, click on the properties. So here member of, by default this user is member of a users group. I want to add the user into DBA group. Click on add. Now give the group name, check the names. Click on apply, click on OK. See here, DBA group, built-in group. Okay. So created. Like you can create the user account, you can check you can add the users into groups. Now go to DBA group, right click, click on properties. So here you can check the members in a group. Click on members. Srinivas is a member of DBA group. You can check the group. Who are the members in the group? Go to group, right click, properties, click on members. It shows who are the members of DBA group. Like that real time scenarios, we have AWS group, DBA group, DevOps groups, and team leaders. We have different types of subgroups. Now, how to change the default password policy? Now, click on tools. Go to group policy management. Expand the domain controller. Expand the domains. Expand the domain name, india.com. Select to default domain policy. Select to default domain policy. Right click on the domain. Click on edit. Expand computer configuration. Expand policies. Expand window settings. Expand security settings. See here, you have number of policies. So expand account policies. Select password policy. Now see, enforce password history, 24 passwords are remembered. Maximum password age is 42 days. Minimum password age is 1 day. Minimum password length is 7 characters. Password must meet complexity requirements are enabled. Store password using reversible encryption is disabled. Now I want to change the password policy. So which you want to change? For example, I want to change password must meet complexity requirements. Right click, click on properties. So I am disabling this. Click on apply. Click on OK. So like this, which you want to change. So you can select that one. Password minimum age if you want to change. Right click. Minimum is password can be changed after 1 day. So I want to give after 5 days you can change your password or 6 days. Click on apply. Click on OK. So maximum password is after 42, every 42 days you have to change the password. I want to change. Every 20 days only have to change the password. Give 20 days. Click on apply. So every user, every 20 days he must change the password. Click on OK. Password minimum characters length. Click on properties. So what I am doing, uncheck this one. Password must be at least 7 characters, or you can make it 0. No password is required. So if you do the password, if you give the password, if you don't give the password, you can create the user. Click on apply. Click on OK. So without password also you can create the user accounts now. So these things they will ask the questions in interview. Next, after applying group policies, you have to update it. Otherwise, they will not apply. So go to command prompt, gp update. Run the command gp update. If you forget to give this command, your group policies will not update. So after changing any group policy values, you have to give the command gp update. See, computer policy update has completed successfully. Now they will apply. User policy updated has completedly successfully. So like this, you have to update. So to enable account lockout policy, same, go to tools, group policy management, same, right click on default domain policy, click on edit, expand computer configuration policies, expand window settings, expand security settings, expand account policies. Now here account lockout policy. So account lockout duration not defined. Account lockout threshold 0 invalid login attempts. Now what I am doing, right click, properties, account lockout duration 30 minutes. Account is locked out for 30 minutes. So if you do wrong passwords 3 times, your account will be locked. After 30 minutes, again you have to try. Click on apply. So click on OK. OK. Now by default, 5 invalid login attempts it will give. 5 times you can try. But after 5th time also you given the wrong password, your account will be locked. How many minutes? 30 minutes. After 30 minutes again you have to try. So whenever your account is locked, so I want to unlock your account, for example. So how to unlock the user account manually? See, after 30 minutes automatically it will unlock, but I want to lock your account manually. Go to Active Directory domain users and computers. Click on users folder. Select the user Srinivas. Right click. Click on properties. So click on account. See, unlock the account. So automatically your account will be unlocked. Click on apply. Click on OK. Like this, you can unlock manually. Again, right click on the users, click on properties, click on accounts. So log on hours and log on to computers. For example, by default, any user can log in from any domain client to the server. But I want to restricting you log on to, see, by default, all computers, from all computers you can log in. So I am giving the following computers only: 192.168.0.20 system, you can log in. 192.168.0.30 system, you can log in. So the systems which are having the IP address 20 and 30, from that systems only you can log in. So by default is all computers. You can also restrict the users, you can log in from the particular computer only. Here you can select. So log on hours. So Sunday to Saturday, from any time you can log in permit, but we are going to give the shifts. So from Monday to Monday, when Monday morning 6 a.m. to up to Friday. So Monday through Friday from morning 6 to evening 8 p.m. I am giving log on permission. Click on OK. That is your log on hours. So Monday to Friday. So you can select the Monday through Friday 3 a.m. to 8 p.m. like that, depending upon how you are going to give log on permissions, log on denied. So completely, for example, I am denying you, log on denied, and I am giving the permission to you now. Monday through Friday from 2 a.m. to 6 p.m. or whatever the shift time, you can select the shift time. Only you can log on from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. Monday to through Friday. Log on permitted. So only this time. Remaining times you cannot log on. So I denied you. You cannot log into the system remaining times. Only your shift timing is changed from Monday to Friday, morning 6 to night 9 p.m. So like this, you can restrict the users for log on hours. So every question they will ask in interview. So this is client system. Installation is completed. Give the password. Next, work network. So today we'll stop here. Tomorrow, Monday, Tuesday morning, 8 a.m. we have a new batch, and evening 7 p.m. we have a new batch. So which is suitable to you? So you can come from Tuesday onwards to the regular classes. Is there any doubts, Mr. Anand Kumar and Surendra? More? Is there any doubts? Anand Kumar Singh and Surendra Kumar, Surendra More? So thank you all. Today's session is completed. So tomorrow batch timings are given in the chat. So you can join into that batches. Tomorrow is 7 p.m. Day after tomorrow morning 8 a.m. we are going to start the new batches. So which is the suitable time for you? You can go. You can come into that batches. Okay. Thank you all.